Hi creatives, this might be you. There was a girl at an event, she helped someone to take pictures. She snapped all of the shots that she could actually snap, and honestly, they look very good. Of course, you know that feeling, the moment you feel like a pro. But let's be real, sometimes it's just vibe and not full understanding. But that's okay. We're not here to judge her. We are here to grow. So in this video, I'll be breaking down the basic parts of a camera and how they function in a way you would actually understand. So let's dive right into it. Now imagine, just think this. Think of a camera like something that is very delicate, like a egg. Because when it falls, oh my god. And you know that when we talk of cameras are actually very expensive, and it's important that we understand how to handle the camera properly. So now, what is a DXLR, right? You must have seen people carry different kind of camera. A DSLR is called digital single lens reflex, and what that means in simple terms is that it's a camera that actually helps you to see exactly what your lens sees. If I'm to use this particularly to possibly like magnify something, so it's just like a camera is something you are actually seeing, and then camera helps you to see clearly exactly what a camera does, right? So the moment the light enters through the lens of the camera, it hits the mirror and it reflects into a prism, and then it enters into your viewfinder. When you hold a camera, there is a particular very small box in it. That's what is called the viewfinder. And when your eye sees it like this, the moment you press the shutter release button, the mirror flips, the light hits the sensor, and boom, your image is captured. DXLR isn't only a type of camera. Like I mentioned earlier, we also have the mirrorless camera, we have the bridge cameras, which is an old kind of camera. We have the point and shoot camera. This is the very first kind of camera that came into existence, right? These are actually very archaic types of camera, but now we are in a very digital world, and that is why we are focusing on a DSLR. Remember, I said a DSLR is digital single lens reflex, and those names you see on the camera, like Nikon, like Canon, like Sony, they are not just they are not just types of camera, they are products. There are different products of camera, just like for phone types, we have iPhone, we have Samsung, we have Techno, Nokia, and so many others kind of products like that. Exactly for cameras, when you hear Nikon, Canon, Sony, and some other ones. So do not get confused. They are just simply brands, right? They are brands and not different types of camera. So let's proceed. Now let's talk about lenses. We have different kind of lenses. So when we talk of digital DSLR, so you have the body part of the camera, and then you have the lens. Remember that it's the lens that helps you to see. It is through the lens that the light comes in, which you are able to and then on the body part of the camera, you press the shutter release button, but everything actually works together, right? So lenses are like the eyes of the camera, and there are two main types. You have the zoomless lens, and then you have the prime lens, right? The prime lens has its own special feature, and then zoom lens has its own special feature. Just like from the word zoom, zoom means that it has a very wide range at which it can go. It can go farther than a prime lens would actually go. And a prime lens is not zoomable, but a zoom lens is actually zoomable. So even when you are at a distance, you can zoom out so that you can have a more like broad kind of like, when you view from your from your view lens, just like I described a magnifier helping you to see something clearer, see something in a very bigger perspective. Exactly what a zoom camera can also do. So a zoom camera can also help you to take picture that is from afar in a very closer perspective. So that is what these lenses are for. And then for zoom lens, it is we have the 18 to 55 mm. Also, we have the 18 to 175 mm, so you can actually zoom in and zoom out. Then for the prime lens, we have it is not zoomable like I mentioned earlier, but it is often sometimes sharper and even better in low light, right? So now let's get very practical. You might be thinking that I use my phone well, I can handle the camera. We're in a very digital world. Of course, we're not limited to just using cameras. And nowadays, in this age and time, we have people who uses their phone to also like take pictures and all of that. But that's not what we are talking about. That's not what we are emphasizing on. We are actually talking about how you can make use of a DXLR, a physical camera, right? So basic parts of the camera, instead of just holding a camera and then the picture in your mind, or you look at the camera image online. So we have what we call the power button on and off. And this is where you turn on your camera, just like your phone or your television or any digital device that you have at home. Before you can have access to this, before you can anything can display on it, there's the on and the off switch. So just like your phone, if you want to if you want to access your phone or want anything to display on your phone, you turn it on. So there is the on and the off button on your camera. And also we have the battery compartment, because when there is no battery, there is no camera. I mean, nothing will come up. The same thing with your phone. If your phone goes dead and it's not charged, if there is no battery in your phone, it's not going to work. It's not going to come alive, right? So this is where your battery goes into, and you must always ensure that you charge it at all times so that you'll be able to have, you know, something to work with. Then you have your viewfinder. Your viewfinder is particular that small box that is in your body, in your camera body part. This helps you to see exactly the object that is in front of you which you want to snap. So we also have the screen display. The screen display is something, it's a little bit, it's also a box, but it's a bit bigger. Sometimes you can flip to the other side, and sometimes you can just enter you know, swiftly into the camera part, right? So this is where you see the settings and the preview images of the things you're actually snapping. And also you have the hot shoe mount. This is actually an additional or an external device, just like your flash and your flash basically, and your trigger, your flash and your trigger. So you just it's a little bit iron like in shape. So the external device, you just put it there so that when you want to take a picture in like a very dark room, the flash comes up and it helps you, it gives illumination to what you're trying to you know, to shoot. When you want to take a picture, you need to press something. So that shutter button, release button, is what you press, that goes, sends signals all around all the sensors of the camera, and then helps you to pick a picture. But then you also have the memory card space as well, slots where you input your memory card. And also you have the mode dial. The mode dial is a round button where every settings are. You see the M, you see the P, you see different kinds of settings on it. So that's your mode dial. This is your camera control center. Now, having have that, we need to also understand camera modes. We have the auto, the AV mode is the auto mode, whereby your camera automatically do some particular settings on itself. And then you have the manual mode, which you have to do by yourself. You have to set it by yourself. You set the ISO, you set other things in your manual mode. And if you need to grow, you actually need to spend time on your manual mode, because when you're working on the audio, on the auto mode rather, you will not be able to grow. And as a professional, if you want to be a professional, you have to go outside, and then the mode, you need to set a particular mode inside that space. Take for instance, you want to shoot a movie, you want to shoot a particular kind of picture, a pre-wedding picture or a birthday picture, and you want to set a particular kind of mood for your character, which is for your client. You need to be able to manipulate using your manual mode instead of you depending on your auto mode, right? So also we need to understand the exposure triangle, and this is practically what helps, you know, your image to come out well. And the exposure triangle comprises of three components: shutter speed, the aperture, and then the ISO. All of these three are very important when we are talking about photography. So these are the three controls that helps your image look very well. So your ISO is at different ranges of 100, 200, 400, 600, 800. Then inside your ISO should be around 100, 200 without creating any noise. But when you're outside, when you're outside, your ISO should be around 100, 200. But when you are inside, you need to increase it a little bit, especially when the light is very small. And you know, you need light, you need a particular amount of light, of which you can also set your shutter speed as well. That can help you control the amount of light that sharply comes inside. We are going to explain that as well. So your ISO is basically the sensitivity to light, right? This is how sensitive your camera is to the light. So we have the low ISO, which is from 100 to 200 like I mentioned the other time. This helps you to get a very clean image without creating any noise. And then you have the ISO, which is 16 to 8000 to 400, depending on the ranges on it. This helps you to get a very brighter kind of image, but sometimes it can be very grainy, and that grainy means it can create noise. So you need to be able to understand the balance as to ISO with your shutter speed and the aperture, so that you can have a very perfect kind of image. So talking about shutter speed, this is the speed, the motion control. This is the speed, how fast your camera can actually capture the image. You have the fast mode, which is the freeze motion. You have the slow, which has to capture movement like blur. So if you want to create, if you want to achieve something like a blur, your shutter speed will be able to help you achieve that. Then we have the aperture, which is the light entry and depth. So if you want to have something like a shallow depth of field, the deep depth of field, you can always manipulate and maneuver around this to help you get that kind of a thing. And you have smaller numbers from f1.8, you have f5.6. And photography is actually very simple. Photography is basically drawing with light. Your camera is just a tool, but understanding it makes you creative. And we're going to be ending here, but remember that I said again, photography, it's simple. It is basically drawing with light. Remember that when your camera is without light, it's as good as nothing, just a box that has nothing inside it. But what makes a camera very beautiful, or the result of whatever it is beautiful, is exposure to light. So when there is light, you'll be able to have a very good image that will be beautiful, and people will say, oh my god, this is a very nice artwork.